There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything. That power that can make a way out of no way.
Today, the world, in the world, there's so much suffering because of that one of prayer.
Live from New York, this is the Prayer Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. I'm here with my good friend Vira. My name is Doyal, and we're your co-hosts today. And we're just excited to see all these people that are joining in all the time. Audrey just joined in on Instagram. Got these beautiful souls here joining us on Zoom. AJ, Brian, Vivi, Mike, Pat, all these beautiful souls. We're so glad that you guys are here with us. And this is our 51st episode. We've been doing this every day for 51 days, and who would have thought? But we're glad for it. And how you doing, Vera?
I'm doing good. Yeah, just settling back into my office. I got to clean up the space and feel grateful to be with you guys. And Monday feels like a new life. Feels like a new beginning to life for whatever reason. It just feels like that today. So I'm grateful to be with you. How are you doing today, Doya?
I'm doing good. It's yesterday was Mother's Day. I went to New Jersey. Unexpected. I wasn't planning on it, but my wife was going out to Jersey, and I went with her to see her mother. And so we spent the day out there, and we brought the dog with us, and he got a lot of yard space, which is good for him. He likes to he just gets in the grass and he just like rolls in it and sniffs in it and digs it. He just likes grass. And so we had a good day out there, and we came back last night, and then we're here. This morning podcast keeps me like what do they want to say, like grounded. It's like the focal point of my morning. Like otherwise, who knows what my morning would look like when I would roll out of bed and when I would have breakfast or not, or it's like, oh, okay, keeps me focused.
Thank you guys for helping keep us focused. We're
Totally.
deeply grateful. Without you, we don't know where we'd be. Doyle and I we'd be digging in the dirt with this pup.
Without me, my first meeting would be like at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It's amazing that the Sangha can provide that for us and
Totally.
give us that rhythm. I mean, to be able to have like the cadence of checking in each day to pray. I know for myself, like the collective willpower it's powerful, the accountability and the collective willpower to show up, because it's more than just me. If it's just me creating an accountability to be grateful or to go to bed and wake up at a certain time or to whatever it is, I think we could all relate to this. Basically, when it comes to follow through with our word, with ourself, we're probably way less, we're way less with the follow through than we are with others. And so thank you guys. Thank you for being the collective willpower in my prayer life.
There's so many things that I have lessons scheduled to do that I never did, that I've been wanting to do for myself, whether it's exercise or music or learning a language, all these things. Like, I'm going to do this. And then it's just never, when it's just me holding myself accountable, forget it.
Yeah. I'm taking a coach training right now, getting some great insights on communication and how to hold space and be with people. And in the training, the facilitator was sharing with us, said, okay, so who here in this room, 50% or more that you are, or, he said, I think he said 60% or more that you follow through with your commitments with other people. And it's a pretty conscious group. And, pretty much everybody, I think everybody raised their hand and said, yeah, like if I tell someone I'm going to do something, like I'm pretty, I honor my word. And he said, okay, how many of us in the room follow through with 60% or more with what you tell yourself that you're going to do, what you promise yourself? And everyone was like, right. Yeah. And so, and then he said, we talked a lot about accountability.
Why is that?
Why is it? It's a great question. And maybe we could pray on it and then take it from there. But it was a great insight. It was an amazing insight. And what we talked about a lot was that, to build accountability into our life, there's so many creative ways we can do it. So many amazing creative ways we can do it. It's not just like, I'm going to do that. And then like you drop the notebook that you said you're going to do it on. You may never look at it again, or you end up, it's like, oh, this paper is irrelevant now, let me throw it in the trash. You never even did anything on it. But we talked about a lot of different creative ways of how to build self-accountability and how to build peer accountability and how to generate that collective accountability, just to build that. It's like a quality to build it into our life.
Well, it's so beautiful. And you said, let's pray about it, which I thought was a beautiful segue, which is why we're here in the prayer revolution, that that it's kind of like we're never accountable to only ourselves. You know what I mean? That we're it's never just us living our lives, but there's always a second party. And I think that that's divinity in our life. And I think that part of the revolutionary idea of prayer in my life is that I stop living just for myself and I start living for a higher purpose and a higher power. And that when I try to do that, it's not about performing on some external way, but it's like how I'm showing up internally. And that whatever I'm doing, I'm recognizing when even the things that I set for myself are an expression of my offering to God, then I am not just being accountable to myself, and I'm actually, I think that requires a faith that actually that God is real, you know. And I think that that's sort of the lie we tell ourselves, that it's not real, in order to let us off the hook so that I don't have to be accountable to the standards I set for myself. At least that's what I think I'm doing.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, deep insight. Our relationship with the divine is we're kind of looking at like all the dysfunctional kind of fragments of our relationship, our primary relationship. And we see it even in our relationships with the people that we're closest to in this life. Like you can see the way that we interact with the person that we're closest to. It's like, you can see like, okay, where is it skewed? Like, where does gratitude all of a sudden like drop off? Like we like forget to be grateful for that person, or where does that, how deep does that trust go? Or, you know, how much are we willing to be vulnerable? You know, and it's, so we get tested, and I think that definitely our relationship with our higher power is, it's a reflection. It's something that will reflect in all of our relationships. And so it's, let's start at the root, right? Let's get back to the root and start there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote a prayer, but I think just kind of freestyling today. That's what it's feeling like. So, got a beat for me, Doyal?
Got a beat for you? Want me to get like a beatbox going for you? Seems like you got it rolling pretty good over there.
Yeah, let's okay, cool. Let's all come into a pause. Let's all come into a pause. Yeah, there you go, Bryn. Let's all come into a pause with all of our beautiful little babes. Love seeing Michelle with her little sweetheart. And yeah, let's Zoe Slim Shady over here. Okay. Let's pause our day. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, just letting go of any tension, letting go of any stress, any anxiety you may be feeling about this day ahead of you. Take a few more nice deep breaths and stay connected to your breath throughout our prayer. Breathing in full body, deep full body breaths, connecting to yourself, connecting to the present moment. The mind is constantly moving, it's constantly active, jumping from thought to thought to thought, creating so much importance. Future fears, past worries, anxieties in the present. When we're able to breathe, we're able to actually come into the present moment, the mind starts to subside, it starts to calm. We can actually hear the sounds around us. We can feel the sensations in our body. The mind comes back into a more peaceful place. Staying connected to your breath. You can put your palms together if that resonates with you. And now we're calling out to a higher power. Beyond any specific religion, beyond any specific tradition, we're calling out to one universal truth, one absolute truth. Many names, many forms, has come at many times, will continue to come into our life as we go forward, calling out to that one truth, opening up a line of communication. My Lord, please hear our prayer. My beloved mother, my dear most Father, my beloved friend, please hear my heart. My heart is yearning for that connection. My heart is yearning for love. So many experiences that I've had in this life searching for that truth, searching for that connection, searching for that love. I've tasted so many different flavors. And when I taste love, I know that's what I'm looking for. Help us to feel connected to that truth in our life, that that's what we're seeking. Everything else is just a step or a support or a block, stopping us from experiencing that or helping us to move toward that. Please help us to use all of our friends, all of our relationships, all the resources that you've given us to support love in our relationship with you and our relationship with every person we come into contact with. Help us to be shepherds of the people who you've entrusted us on. We are their caretakers. Help us to be good shepherds to them. The children, the parents, the students, the individuals that you've put under our care in our life. Help us to be shepherds and help us to be protectors and guardians and honor all the resources that you've given us. And today we're talking about how we can live in truth, live in integrity with our word. When we find those things in our life, those things that are truly meaningful, a deep meditative practice and connection with you, more compassion in a relationship where we're struggling to find that gentleness and that kindness, that love, to have faith when we're doubting, when we feel fearful and unclear about the future, to be able to trust that we're on a path, moving closer and closer to that eternal love, moving toward that goal. And help us, the small things that we say will be helpful for us day in and day out. Help us to have clarity of those special supportive actions day in and day out. Those healthy thoughts day in and day out. Those relationships that we tell ourselves we want to invest in, we want to come closer to. Help us to follow through with what's healthy for us, what will bring us closer to you. Help us to have faith today. Help us to have that wisdom awaken from within our hearts, that love to awaken from within our hearts. Help us to know you and feel connected to you more today. And help us to do good unto others and do good unto ourselves, to use our God-given intelligence, to use our intelligence and to have courage to follow through with what we know to be true. And calling out your universal divine names, calling out your names like a child from mother, calling out for that love. Let us feel that closeness with you today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare.
Thank you, Vira.
Thank you, guys. I feel like I could just keep talking to God all day long.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
I was walking on a hill yesterday, and I was walking, and I gave Radhanath Swami a call. We had a few things, there were some things that we were hoping to connect about, and I couldn't get a hold of him. And then I called my godfather after, and I couldn't get a hold of him. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, cool. Usually, it seems somehow or other, whenever I call my godfather, he's like, always answers the phone, and so I was like, okay, that's interesting, and like a part of me was like, okay, well, let me just go back to the house and like I'll go work on a few things that I know I have some things I could work on, or do some work around the house. It's Sunday, help clean up the house a bit, and I just, there was like this, I was literally like pulled like to keep walking. It's like, no, you're supposed to have a conversation. It just wasn't with Radhanath Swami or with Arjun, with your godfather. You're supposed to have a conversation. Like, I literally felt that, like, have that don't not have that conversation. Have that conversation. So I kept walking, and I walked, and just, right across from our home in Alachua, there's a big recreational center, like football fields and soccer fields and basketball courts, like this huge like complex. And so I kept walking, and behind that, there's this big open meadow, and you kind of walk up onto a hill where there's big ancient oak trees, just kind of like a pretty beautiful kind of celestial, beautiful kind of space. And so I just was like, okay, I meant to have, like, it was like, speak your heart, like, speak to me. And so I was just walking, and I put on, there's this, I can't remember who sent this over to me some time back, but Garth Stevenson, I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard him. He does this beautiful instrumental music, yeah, and like very kind of like soul churning, like very, very beautiful sound. And so I just put that music on, and I was just walking around these oak trees, and it was like, and I just was just sharing my heart, you know, and it's like just calling out in prayer and calling out in conversation. And I actually I started to sing, and I started to like it was just like poetry, and like just like, you know, yeah, just sharing my heart, you know, like freestyling, sharing my heart. And it was like the most moving, fulfilling conversation that I could have ever imagined having. Like everything that I was hoping to experience in connection with myself and connection with God, like that was available. It was available. Just, you know, like have that conversation, you know, and so often we'll be able to have that conversation with each other. I'll be able to call up Doyal and have that conversation, or my godfather, or every now and then, I don't talk to Radha Swami every day, but speak to him every now and then, be able to have that conversation with like that. And sometimes have that conversation between ourselves and God. And by sometimes, I mean like a lot of the time, like let's have that conversation. Like let's invite our beloved, right? You know, or imagine, right? We're picking up the phone and like, imagine that mother, imagine that friend, imagine that father, that uncle figure that just loves you without conditions, that loves you without conditions. And when you speak to them, you feel that solace of reconnecting to that clarity, reconnecting to truth, reconnecting to yourself, reconnecting to your heart, that's available for us every single moment of our life. Just the same way that I pick my phone up and click that button, and every time that we call, we can have that conversation. It's not going to go to voicemail. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I've felt that. Sometimes I felt, you know, hey, I'm calling out to God. I'm like, where are you? You know, like it seems like it went to the voicemail. But it's like, no, like you called the wrong number. You called them. You dialed the wrong number, buddy. You know, like you're talking over there. I'm right over here, right behind you. You know, like that. You know, even the times where I would call God, I would call my higher power. That, you know, the mood that I'm calling in is going to provide and facilitate that connection. If I'm calling out demanding, I'm knocking on the door demanding, it's like you're knocking on the wrong door of the wrong house. I don't even hear you knocking. Like I hear you knocking because you're knocking so loud and you're waking up the whole neighborhood, but like that's the wrong door, buddy. You gotta just, you know, just shift over that way, and then let's talk. Like I'm here to talk with you. Let's dance, you know. And so just that, such a beautiful revelation yesterday. And I was like, my God, I was like, why don't I go on this walk and have this talk every single day of my life? It's probably 20 minutes, you know, tears in my heart, feeling like but that's all I'm looking for in my life. I'm looking for that connection. I'm looking for that clarity and that, to feel the wind through my skin, to feel the present moment as divine and as sacred, to feel life itself as sacred, to know that these steps that I'm taking, that I'm walking, that I'm on a path, it's leading me back, you know, in connection with a higher power. And so why don't I go on that walk every single day? So I asked myself that question, and yeah, I want to go on that. And so going on that walk with you guys right now in a way, and put myself out on a limb, and, you know, loving you
What'd you talk about?
What did we talk about? You know, really, it was like, you know, maybe less words and more a feeling, more that I felt that I was with somebody that even without speaking knew my heart, even without speaking could understand everything, even more than I could understand it myself. You know, even more than my thoughts. If I was to get in my head and really start rationalizing it and thinking through it and intellectualizing and breaking down what am I feeling, the story of it. It was like, no, like I just feel held. I feel held, and whatever state of being and consciousness I'm in, I feel accepted. I feel loved, and that, there is no wrong. There is no wrong step that I could take. And so that's there wasn't a lot of words. There was some song, there was some freestyling, and it was I was talking about that feeling inside, talking about that feeling, and that feeling in my heart that I felt my whole life. I felt that there's something I'm looking for, there's something that I'm looking for. And that's as much as I could say in regards to the words of it. It's like that I'm searching for something, right? And that I'm looking for it, and I'm trying to find it in this world. And every now and then it's just like, man, like I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it. And it's to not feel, that I'm able to find what it is I'm looking for is it can bring up that feeling of, it's not hopelessness, but it's moving toward that. It's like, and then to all of a sudden to like, it's like a curtain is like, and it's like, oh my God, I'm looking for myself. I'm looking for myself, and I'm looking for this connection with a higher power that magnifies and that awakens that connection with my soul, with my true nature, with my true self. And that everything else in life it's a play. Everything else in life is a catalyst to either bring me back into connection with that, or to, for me to distract myself and to forget that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to have that conversation. I'm looking to experience that connection, with God and with myself spiritually. And that's it. That's all I'm ever looking for. And that's what makes this world move. And I'm sitting on the country highway of Alachua. It's one of the busy main roads down here in the town of Alachua. And it's constantly moving with traffic, right? It's more busy than First Avenue probably right now in New York City, and constantly moving with traffic. Everyone is moving in this world, moving. So much movement is taking place. And so much of that movement is a distraction. There's so much duty, there's so much necessity to care for our body, to care for our families, to perform those duties, and that's something that we can spiritualize. We talk about that a lot. And also, so much of the phones and the devices and the cars and the movement and the activity of our mind is just to distract ourselves from that feeling, that the pain we feel in separation from our own self, and connecting, actually deeply with ourself, and then moving through the years and maybe the lifetimes of disconnection, and the pain that brings. And so.
You said something beautiful about when I asked you what were we talking about. You said it was less words and more feeling, and the feeling of being seen, perhaps even someone seeing me more than I'm even able to see myself. And I think that's a powerful concept or realization, because I think even sometimes a simple prayer could always be, what am I not seeing about myself? Or what am I not seeing about this situation? And I think that is a broadening of spiritual consciousness. That's divine vision being invited into our lives. We can ask at every moment, what am I not seeing about myself? And what am I not seeing about this situation that may be causing my anger or resentment or fear? You know what I mean? I think, fear is always related to an unknown. And so if we constantly ask that question, what am I not seeing about myself? What am I not seeing about a situation? It removes the unknown and it removes fear, because the reality that I forget all the time is that I am whole and I'm taken care of, and things are happening just as they're meant to, and ultimately things are happening for me and for you, and we're it may not be in my material best interest of how I think my life should go, but ultimately it's we had this beautiful one-day retreat at the Bhakti Center on Saturday, and Raghunath was our friend and teacher. Raghunath was given classes and stories, and he said, you've never been alone. You've always been loved. You have to go with what you're going through in order to become a transcendentalist, you know? And when I see that, that's my goal ultimately, is to bring me to transcendence. Then the things that are happening in my life make more sense. But I don't see that in the moment. And so it's almost just like a prayer revelation in the heart. Please help me see what I'm not seeing about myself and what I'm not seeing about the situation, so that I can have a greater divine vision. So that feeling, I think, in the heart is like, it results in a feeling of being seen, and it's like a feeling of comfort can wash over me. And that's what I hear you saying. That's what I'm hearing you experience in your little walk through the oak trees of Alachua, Florida.
Yeah, walk through the oak trees of Alachua, Florida, in prayer and in meditation on the holy names. You know, meditation on the holy names. When you were sharing that right now, I just felt like, yeah, like we can be like babies, you know. And Srila Prabhupada gave us that amazing meditation, just such a gift. You know, we had Mother's Day yesterday, and so much reflection on that unconditional love of a mother for their child, and that we can have that relationship with our higher power, that we can be dependent, right? It's like we can, you know, there's that opportunity when we're chanting to be able to let go, you know, and to call out like a baby, to actually come to the point of, you know, to cry out, you know, that I want to be held, you know, that I'm looking for that connection. I'm looking for that, I'm looking for that love. I'm looking for that truth of relationship. I'm looking for that unconditional acceptance. And that can only be had by our higher power. And that all of us, we can be instruments of that. You know, every single one of us on here today, that's an amazing gift, right? We're all sparks of the divine. And that we can, to the degree that we're connecting, you know, that beautiful analogy Srila Prabhupada gave also, to the degree that we're in the fire and we're connecting to our source, we're connecting to God, we're chanting the holy names of God, we're praying, we're getting into that mood of selfless service, we're having these type of conversations, we're opening up spiritual literature and we're discussing and studying spiritual literature, we're getting in that fire, and our consciousness is becoming more and more revealed, our pure consciousness is awakening, and then we can be instruments. We can be instruments of that compassion, of that love, of that, you know, whatever it is that somebody is needing in their life to reconnect, that we can be that vessel and that instrument to help them to experience that in their own life. And that's the greatest fulfillment and the joy of our hearts and souls. And that's revealed, you know, it's like sometimes it takes, it takes a long time to see actually happiness is not from fulfilling myself. It's not from stockpiling for myself. It's not for whatever, taking care of my own selfish personal needs, that there's a duty and a responsibility that's there. Take care of ourselves, take care of the families, etc. But that fulfillment and joy is coming when I'm serving others. Fulfillment and joy and happiness is when I'm actually giving back and looking at how I can uplift others. And so that's, you're reminding me of that. We can be like babies, you know, that the more we can be dependent like that, like babies, and just to recognize, I need your love. Oh, I need your love. I need it. A baby will die without the love of their parents, you know, without that shelter, without that care, without that love. And so, you know, I felt in my life at different times that I'm dying inside, you know, dying inside, and that somehow or other, when that connection is revealed again, and I reconnect to higher power, it's like, oh my God, I'm alive again, you know, and I'm actually able to take whatever that experience was. I'm actually able to take that experience, and it becomes a catalyst that helps me to grow deeper into that loving relationship. So.
Beautiful.
There,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for making us come alive.
Thank you for letting me share my heart, DG. You've been letting me share a lot, man. We you know,
your heart is beautiful. We want to see it more and more.
Love you, Baba.
That's what we show up for. So thank you so
grateful.
much for your smile, for your heart, for your sincerity, for your honest words, for your vulnerability, sharing your experience, letting us into your prayer life. And thank you all so much for being with us and tuning in every day. We're here every day, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. live Eastern time. If you want to join us on Zoom, we have a live Zoom group every day. If you can write to us at prayer revolution at bhakticenter.org to get the Zoom account, or go to bhakticenter.org/online. For more information on our podcast and the other podcasts and offerings that we do at the Bhakti Center. We would love, love, love to be in touch with you. So please write to us, share your feedback, ask your questions. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, write us a review, tell us your experience. We want to hear from you. We love you guys all so much, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, right? We'll be here again tomorrow. It's what we've been doing every day.
It's the plan. Love you, bro.
See you guys.
Thank you,
Take care.
guys. Have a beautiful day. Hari.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivi, Brian, Mike, Pat, Bryn, Laura. Good to see you. Sarah, Michelle, Berger, and your beautiful family. Julie, Blandina, Aditi G. So good to see you. Nicole, George Weiss. So happy. AJ and your beautiful daughter. So thank you, all of our Instagram livers. We love you guys. We will see you again next time.